Now it's recording. So we are utilizing AI to not put us out of work because often as project managers, we need a little assistance. We need some extra help and we don't always get it. So this is like a personal assistant for us. But you have to know, just using this example, you have to know what to type in to ChatGPT before it gives you an answer. You have to be able to decipher through it in order to be able to put it into practice. So no worries. Even with ChatGPT and AI, we still need the project professionals that know the processes and know how to really implement it. Because even if you type it in and you're like, hey, give me the steps that I need to accomplish, your experience, your knowledge is not going to be replaced in this area. So I really want to make sure that I hit home on that because I get that question a lot. And we need the project managers to steer the projects. AI can't do that for us. All right. So as the industry is changing, this just simply cannot be replaced. As far as managing teams, being a leader, coaching those teams is a lot of project management as well. That's not going to be replaced. So we need people that can lead more than ever. All right. So here's just some little quotes, right? Like we've got all this AI, but who's going to manage the AI and who's going to manage the people that are managing the AI for these projects? Not only that, but now there's all this AI. Everyone's going to want to be implementing it into their businesses. It's another opportunity for project managers. So things are changing. As more stuff gets implemented into these businesses, we're going to need more project managers than ever because the project managers are managing the change, not just the change agents, right? Like those need it too, but typically the project manager is in charge of all of them, making sure everything goes the way it needs to go. All right. So when we look at this, how it's shifted just since 2019, kind of wild to think about how rapidly things have just shifted. We've already said through surveys, research, that project management is on the rise anyways, but we're looking at the skills, and PMI, which is the Project Management Institute, is really making sure that project managers are focusing on what they really need. So uh, rather than analytical, I skipped a, oh, you all are going to see all my presentation now. Let me figure out how I can go back. This is what happens when you don't use standard PowerPoint. Let me see if I can go back. Thank you all for bearing with me. Right when I was building you all up, and then I just let you down, didn't I? All right. Well, just a little review. All right. So we're really looking at how this has shifted. So rather than complex problem solving skills being at the top, now we're needing this innovation. How can we implement a lot of these automations? How can we shift and change and use the AI that's there? But also, how can we create new ways? Those are going to be what is now shifting. And one of those things is implementing projects. So does everyone see how that's shifted? Okay. So PMI. Who has heard of PMI? Right. So PMI is international. Let's say you've heard of it too. Okay, good. So PMI is international. That means when you get a PMP, and actually there's one lady that I follow on Instagram. She travels the world and does projects. It's pretty cool, right? Because a project starts and ends. And when you have your PMP, you can actually, and you get enough experience under your belt. These are things to look forward to, right? Like once the kids are grown and everything else. So we can just up and work on all these different projects. I love it. I've worked with Sherwin Williams, and we had one with the bank, then we had one here, we had one there. It was it was great because I was getting all this different experience by managing these projects. You also get to know lots of really cool people. Right. Do you know what industry she works in? A lot of it is IT. So implementing new IT customer service processes, or new software programs as well. That is normally the biggest thing that most of us are working in nowadays. Now, is that everything? No. And you don't have to know IT super well to be able to do it. You just have to know how to speak to people, which I would say we probably know how to do that, but there's a lot of people out there that aren't so great with it. So being able to speak to the IT people and go, what do you need? Okay, here's the schedule. Does that work for you all? Yes or no? Let's make some adjustments. Oh, you need correspondence with this group. Okay, I'm going to help make sure everything's lined up and in alignment. It's like IT, but like party planning. That's the way I think of it a lot of times. All right. So PMI means that when you are certified with PMI, that you are internationally certified, that you can work anywhere with the certification that it's valid. PMI, with it being international, they have so many resources. When you get on their website, and it's a little overwhelming sometimes because anything you need, it is there. Being a part of PMI organization, I just went to the leadership conference last month. It was amazing. There was two leaders from every single chapter that came. So there's chapters that you can get involved with. We made hygiene packs for the homeless in the area. And because that project was put together so quick and we had all these people that understood project management, we were able within 3 hours to put together like over 2,000 hygiene packs. So you can utilize these skills in your community. You can assist, you can teach. There's so many opportunities with this. In fact, I did that. I was like in one of my networking groups last week, and I was like, hey, is there anyone working with a nonprofit that we can help volunteer some time with just coordinating and making sure everything's in alignment for your best success? So you can utilize it everywhere. And I say that because as you're acquiring your hours, those can be places that you acquire your hours as well. Okay. So this is what's really going to set you apart. If you want a government job doing project management, it has to be PMI PMP. So that's first and foremost. There are some other opportunities out there for other certifications. Google. Google's takes 6 to 12 months, generally about 12 months of doing. And that's really the only places that really honor that are going to be extremely IT heavy or Google. If you are working with anything else, HR, government, all of those like more established areas, those are going to require the PMI PMP. So that is one reason why I really tell people, I'm like, get that, get the PMP. You can always study all the other stuff later, but the PMP is the tried and true. Right. Just to reinforce, I think I kind of already hit this, but this is not a career that's going to go anywhere. It's not going away. It is here to stay, and it's going to keep getting more and more needed, should I say. Sorry, I was trying to read this at the same time. Is it true that you have to get a lot of experience in order to get the PMP? Yes. However, um, it's probably less than you think, because you can volunteer projects that you've worked on. Maybe there's a church project that you were working on. Maybe you worked for a company and maybe you weren't the project manager, but you were on the project and you were helping, maybe assisting. Those can still count as well. Now, if you take principles and you go and you start getting yourself into some projects, and then you take the PMP exam prep, during that span of time, you can be working and getting ideas for other projects that you can be working on. And you have up to 5 years after taking the PMP exam prep to get all the hours that you need. Now, the biggest thing is it cannot be overlapping time. So you can't be working on two projects at one time and count both of that. So it has to be one continuous stream. Just a little tip. But we go over all of that in the classes as well. And we will make sure that you completely understand it and you're set up for that. How many hours to achieve the PMP? So it depends, and we're going to get to a slide on this, but it depends on if you have just a high school degree or if you have a 4-year degree. If you have a 4-year degree, it's less hours needed. And I'll show you that in just a moment. All right. Here's the part that you really want to know. How much more money am I going to make? Right? You are going to make about 25% more having the PMP. And I highly suggest that you go on to like LinkedIn jobs and search PMP or project manager because you will see the pay that people are opting to pay for someone with a PMP. I've seen these go up as high as the 200s. I've seen 220. And then you can see anywhere as low as 60, but those aren't normally requiring a PMP. But if you need some hours and you've taken the exam prep and you can show, hey, I've taken these, here's my certificate that I completed. I need more hours on this. 60 is still not bad starting out, right? And you'll have the terminology to then work your way up. But I would say with a PMP, you typically don't see lower than an 80K a year. Okay. I work in a completely different field. I'd like to find somewhere that I can get hours. Would that require most of my time volunteering to get those hours? So that's where you could take a part-time job. You could also check at your work and see if there are any projects. Projects meaning they need to implement something. There is a hard stop and a hard end of that project. That would help qualify you for hours. So we can talk a little bit more afterwards too. Because with the PMP, there are a lot of terms. There are processes that work when they are put into play effectively. So just looking at some of those main careers that you can utilize this, you can stay in your field. You might want to switch fields. Maybe you want to hop around and work on different projects. Highly recommend on Instagram, check out like Women of PM. And there's like all these women in project management that are looking pretty good while they do it. I definitely recommend checking that out. So there's government education, there's the private sectors, and there's business. Again, you get enough of this under your belt, you can be picking up some side gigs. That's what I did. All right. So let's type in the chat, type in what career field you are currently in or what industry you're currently in. I'm curious. IT, perfect. You definitely need the PMP. Nonprofit human services. There's a lot of project program management that happens in there. Construction, for sure. That is one thing APB specializes in is construction project management. A wellness clinic, oh yes, for research and things like that. Definitely needed implementing. There's always new stuff getting implemented. HR, fantastic. All right. So let's look at what happens. It totally ate off part of my presentation. It's gonna be a guessing game. So the impact of poor project management. When we think we know how to manage a project, we go in, we're like, yeah, I've done a couple projects before. This was probably me before I really started studying. I'm like, yeah, I got this, no problem. Missed deadlines, cost overruns, poor quality of work, rework's probably the hardest part. Uncontrolled expansion of the product, loss of reputation for the organization, unsatisfied stakeholders, and then failed project objectives. And I share these because if you're wanting your work to pay for your PMP, this is a great way to get them to help help out as well because it will benefit them. So, what are some of the positive things that happen when we have a PMP? Meaning all the things that we can learn and actually implement. We reduce risk. Risk is a big word in project management. It's a big word in business. Manage change, manage constraints, manage the resources. How to just be more organized and more productive. I probably should have put that on here too. I use project management in my life now for everything. Meet business objectives, of course, satisfy the stakeholders. They're the one footing the bill. All right, they have to be satisfied. They're the one that keeps the projects going. And overall, just increase your chances of success. When you're on a successful project, how does that make you look? Right? That allows you to get the next project. That allows you to keep moving up. All right, so here we go. Here's that slide I wanted you to see. So if you have a high school degree, then you need about 5 years of project management experience. If you have a 4-year degree, then you need 3 years of project management experience. Regardless of which one those are, you will still need the 35 hours of formal education. That's the PMP exam prep class that starts in June. Now, what a lot of times they don't tell you is, like especially online, and they're like, just take the exam prep, right? Type it in Google and there'll be a million possibilities. You want to do it live, virtual, so that you have that accountability. I'm telling you from lessons learned. I've had to do it twice because the first time I didn't keep showing up the way I was supposed to. So you want it live accountability so you can have that conversation, so you can implement, hey, well, in my field, we do it this way. What do you think about that? And get that real life feedback. You also, if you're still kind of new to this, the exam prep is to prepare for the exam. The principles of PM is what's going to really allow you to get familiar, to be able to hear things twice, to be able to break it down even further so that you can really implement it like today and tomorrow. The exam is really the terminology, the vocabulary, which you're going to hear in PM, but you want to hear it again because it is a lot. I mean, it's multiple pages of project management terminology. So I joke and I'm like, it's like learning another language. It kind of is because there are a lot of terms and what the standards and what the right answer is. That's what we do in the exam prep. But like how to implement it into the real world, that's principles of PM. So just differentiating what those two are. All right. So what you're learning in principles. In principles of project management, again, that's that practical application, the deeper understanding. I think we had the cohort I was in. We had someone that did principles and then they did the exam prep and then they took their exam like 3 weeks later. And of course they were nervous. We all get nervous. She totally passed the exam, which she was blowing us away in exam prep anyways, because she had all these answers and we're like, she is on it. And it was because she had already heard it and she was reinforcing it in the exam prep portion. So like I said, you're gonna be better prepared. You're like me, you get a little exam anxiety. You're like, oh, I don't know. Like you keep putting it off. Like keep putting off the exam. If you need that extra confidence, I highly recommend to get into principles. All right. What's on the exam? So we are a PMI ACP, or ATP, authorized training provider. So we get our information, our presentations, our exam prep, all of that. We get it directly from PMI. Not everybody does. So to be an ATP, an authorized training provider, that's what says PMI is saying, yes, they got our stamp of approval. Highly recommend because literally our presentations and everything are going over what's going to be on the exam. Okay, that's really important. So as you can see, processes and people are the really big portions of the exam. Right. Taking that innovative approach, we will highly teach you Agile. We will teach you what the trends are in the industries, because we are not just teachers, we are also practitioners. So we are doing project management all day long on various multiple projects all the time. So we are more than happy to really show you what is really going on in the industry. And then just to let you know that 71% right now of organizations are moving into Agile. So that's why we're really, really stressing that. And you could be the person that's bringing Agile into your business. Say, hey, there is a better way of working. Right. It's Q&A time. How are you feeling? Does that answer our questions? Do we still have more questions? If you have more questions, please, please, please ask.
I have a question. I just want to make sure I understand. So when we talked about qualifications and you said the 4-year degree, so it's your 4-year degree plus 3 additional years
Yes.
that are equivalent to 4,500 hours?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And
Yeah,
so I'm sorry, there's a whole series of classes, or is it just this principles class and then the exam prep?
So it's the principles, which is, Crystal, tell me if I'm wrong. Is it 4
6
weeks?
sessions.
6
It's
sessions.
6
Okay,
sessions, so it's about 3 weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll go through that. So 6 sessions, and then the PMP exam prep is 12 sessions.
Okay. So it's just those 2 things.
It is. It
Yes.
is, and lots of reading.
Okay.
Yes.
Are the classes virtual or in person or both?
They're
The classes are
virtual.
virtual. Yes.
Okay,
So
thanks.
we're
I'm sorry.
live like this, and
Okay.
yeah,
Perfect.
it's one of
Thank
those, like, we ask questions, we get super interactive. All right, Ian.
Hi, good afternoon, Easy. My name is Ian. So, I have a master degree. So, would it be shorter years, or it's going to be same as the undergrad?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I have a master's too, and it's the same. It's the same for the 4-year.
Okay, I thought I'm going to get some discount on the years, but
I
yeah, thank you
know.
for the
I
information.
thought so too. Trust me, I checked.
Sounds
So
good. Thank you.
the May 15th class is the one that starts the 6 sessions?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is principles.
Okay.
Mhm. And there's still space left for both classes. And to give my own little testimonial, I was in the spring sessions of both principals and PMP, and I'm in the process now of preparing to study to take the PMP exam. I have a 4-year degree, and I'm combining my experience, my work experience, and volunteer experience through my church and other things to, count for the 3 years of experience that's necessary. And I will tell you that the classes are very interactive. They like for you to have your cameras on so that they can, confirm that you are actively engaged in the class. We had, well, the largest class that we've had so far for PMP, we had about 25 in that class. I don't think there'll be as many in this class, but both Renee and Andre are excellent instructors, and they ask questions and they want feedback from you. They want to know what kind of projects you're working on, and they encourage us to use project management language that we are learning as we're describing the projects that we're working on. So that interaction between the instructor and you, and also when we break out into breakout sessions, that's also great so that you can interact with your fellow classmates and you can learn about the things that they're doing and how they're applying those principles also. So they were two great classes.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah, no, I was happy to hear that you were in them.
Yeah.
so you take the principal's class, you take the prep class. Can you go ahead and take the exam right after, and then, or do you have to have the 3 years experience before you take?
Yes, great
Okay.
question. So there is an application. I know it sounds so strange. To me, it did. Anyways, I was like, have to apply to be able to take the exam. Yes, you will submit your application, which has your experience. It has your college experience. It has work experience, if that was part of it. And then you type in the date you started and end your PMP exam prep training.
Okay.
And we will teach you in the class the best practices. There is the opportunity to be audited. And so we want to make sure that it's accurate. We would want to make sure that you've finished your PMP exam prep and you'll get a certification from Prince George's, and um, that'll all be there. So that way, if you do get audited, it's not a big deal.
So where is there application, or do you just enroll at PG? How does that work, Crystal?
Yeah, Crystal.
So you would contact me, and you would have to be a registered student at the college, which is a simple process. And once you are registered, that generates a student ID number for you. And then from there, I can register you from the class. And what I'm saying is, for me to register you, the other good thing is that this semester we have some scholarship funds available. So if you register yourself for the classes, then you have to pay at the time that you register. But when
Okay.
I register you, I would send you the bill. You would only have to pay a $25 registration fee per class. So that would be $50 total. And then I would submit your name to the financial aid office to get a scholarship for both classes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can't beat that. I mean, it's tremendous to be able to award scholarship funds to students, and we're more than happy to do that. We do have a deadline, so I got these classes in right before the deadline so that you all will be able to take advantage of the scholarship funds if you're not being sponsored by your employer or some other organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll send you an email because I'm already registered. So
Oh, are you? Okay.
not registered for the class. I'm a registered student.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Got it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just send me an email in the
Okay.
morning,
Okay.
and I'll take care of you.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate it. I
Not
appreciate
a
all
problem.
patience with the
Yeah.
questions. Thank you.
Not a
No, we
problem.
love the
Yes.
questions.
Yes.
So Crystal,
It's
for
research for me.
I have I already registered myself for the principals, and then you communicated with me and gave me information about the scholarship for
Mm-hmm.
the the second class. And
Mm-hmm.
so we've been in communication, but I haven't received an update as to if I'm being registered for that one on under the scholarship.
Yes, I can register you for that one. Yeah. So reach out to me tomorrow.
I actually left a voicemail on your phone, but apparently you were out of office, only returning today. So welcome.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm like, snap a photo of the screen so that way you have Crystal's email.
Mm-hmm. And I can also give you my phone number. My number is 301, and I'll put it in the chat too. 546-0712.
Perfect. And you all should have my email because I emailed you and let you know what the Zoom link and all of that was. So you can also email me and then I can forward it to Crystal. So that is totally fine as well. So just a reminder on these dates. So principals starts on the 15th, which is next week. And then the PMP exam prep will be immediately after that. So principals ends on the 6th, and then the PMP exam prep starts on the 7th.
So what days are the classes? Is it 1 day, 2 days, and the time? 2 days.
2 days a
Monday,
week,
Wednesday.
Mondays and Wednesdays.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What
The
time?
quirky thing about, well, 6:30 to 8:30 for principals.
Okay.
And then for PMP, it's going to be 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great questions.
Yeah.
Are these classes going by semesters? Not particularly. So we typically we put some classes within what the typical semester timelines would be. But this one starting on the 15th, and then it will go 12 weeks after 7th, and then that's it.
So if I'm understanding correctly, you can do both classes within the same semester, and that's how we couple them together. However, we know that life happens. So if you can only take the principal's class this semester, and then you have to wait to take PMP in the fall semester, you can do that. You won't, we can't guarantee that there's going to be scholarship funds available in the fall semester, though.
Hi, this is Miss Mabry. My question is, majority of the material will just be PowerPoint slides, or do books or anything needs to be purchased?
So the good thing about the class is that, I'm sorry, Izzy.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Is that the cost of the classes include all materials. So you will get some materials that will be posted in Canvas, which is our online platform. You'll also get a separate email to your email address with a link that also includes some other information that is directly from the Project Management Institute website. So you'll get that also. And it'll include an electronic version of the PMBOK. So you'll have all of the materials that you'll need, plus the slide presentations for all of the sessions that you'll attend. You can download those. You can also view the videos of all of the sessions up to 2 weeks after the class ends. So say, for instance, you start Principles of Project Management, and you want to review the video from that, from the first session or whatever, you can do that at your leisure. And you have up to 14 days after the class ends to be able to view the videos. But then after those 14 days, the videos will go away.
Yeah, so I'll just piggyback on that one. So we do want you to attend all of the classes. You can miss one,
Yes.
but all the classes. And so we include a little bit extra just so that you can miss one class because life happens.
Mhm.
But we've had people on their phones, they're driving and they're still attending class.
Mhm.
Like me, I was like holding the baby and sitting there bouncing her while I'm in class. Like the really thing is like we just need to see that you're there and you're listening and you're engaged.
Mhm.
We know that life happens. We definitely know that. So
So if you're inevitably going to miss a class, do you send a notification, or what
yeah, if you
exactly?
can. Yeah, if
Yeah,
Okay.
you
you
can, that would be great, just so that we can let you know what's going to be missed.
Okay.
And then you can watch the replay.
Okay.
Um, we just don't want to make that the habit.
Then
yeah,
I wanted to
yeah.
ask, how do you access the Canvas platform? Is it through the PGCC? Okay.
Yes, and when 1 to 2 days, maybe a few more days before each class starts, I will send an email to all of the students with instructions on how to log
Okay.
into Canvas.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Renee will go over some of that too. Once you get into the class, she'll show you um, live, during the class time, how to access the information that she posts, how to access the videos, and all of that. So
Yeah.
we try to make it as easy as possible.
You all do. You all do. Yeah. And if there's anything on our end, we've got about 4 or 5 people that are like jump on it and get it resolved too. So yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you, Ian, for joining.
Yes, thank
Thank you
you.
all for joining. We appreciate your time and asking questions and being curious. It's a good
Mhm.
thing.
Thank you for taking the time to answer our questions. We appreciate you both.
Not a problem. And I look forward to hearing from all of you.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
not already registered for either or for both classes, please reach out to me tomorrow. I don't believe I have any appointments or any meetings tomorrow. So my calendar is pretty clear for tomorrow. So I should be able to get back to you fairly quickly. I did
So
have
you
a few meetings.
I'm sorry. You want
Uh,
us to reach out by email?
Email is best. Email
Okay.
is best. But if I feel I need to talk to you about something, or if you want to talk to me about something, definitely you can.
Okay.
But if
Thank
if
you.
there's for some reason I'm invited to a meeting or something, I kind of sneak and look at my emails while I'm while I'm in some of my Zoom meetings. But
Perfect.
yeah.
All right.
So I joined the session late. Do I have to re-register to do the 11 o'clock on Wednesday, although that's not convenient for me?
If you feel like you've gotten your questions answered, then you don't have to. If a question comes up, you can always email us, and I can attach this deck and send it to you all as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That will
Yeah,
be
this was an informational session. It wasn't mandatory or anything. We
okay.
just wanted to share this information with everyone. And
Okay.
thank you so much, Izzy, for setting this up for us.
Yeah. Thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
being here too. I know it's a little later than the normal day.
Yeah, that's
All
fine.
right. Well, thank you all so much. It's good
Thank
to see your
you.
all's faces.
All right.
Thank you all.
Mhm.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Great evening, everybody.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
Too.
Have a good
Evening.
evening. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.